Hello, everyone. Beautiful, nice afternoon from sunny Prague. Hello, hello, hello. So I'm going to wait for everyone to jump into the lobby. We are going to start exactly in 3 p.m. Central European Time, and I would like to welcome you right here. So let's wait for all our colleagues to join this beautiful afternoon. You know the drill. Just grab something tasty to drink, make yourself comfy, and let's wait for the others. Okay, 1 minute to go, and we will start. So I'm seeing some familiar names. Ben is here. Cedric. Hello there, guys. Camila, Martina. Yeah, I'm seeing the familiar names right here in our lobby. Okay, so we have a 3 p.m. Central European Time sharp. So I think it's the beautiful day and beautiful moment to start our webinar. So hello, everybody. Let me welcome you right here in this beautiful day from the sunny Prague. I am here to actually to bring you this beautiful topic of today's webinar, which is 10 mistakes to avoid when we are talking about the custom fields. So what you are going to see and hear today, I already told you, but we have to talk about technical use and technical rules about this webinar. As you find out, or probably or already this time, you are muted and that is gonna stay that way the entire time. There is no chat where you can chat or something like that, but we still have the place where you can put your questions, and that's the Q&A section. So if you are gonna have any question throughout the webinar, leave the question over there. We have a specialist over there prepared to answer all the necessary questions which you have. And by the way, we are gonna also have a specific dedicated Q&A at the end of the presentation. This entire webinar is recorded, so you can rewatch the webinar in case you are gonna miss something really important which you would like to see again. Okay? So, and who I am. I'm Easy8. I'm your main host for today's webinar. I'm going to guide you throughout, the Q&As or the introduction, etc. And together with me, we have right here our my colleague Victoria. Okay, and she's going to be our main presenter for today's topic. So that's technically all from my side. So, and I can now pass the floor to Victoria, which is going to present you and tell you more about custom fields.
Sure. I just unmuted myself. Well, so here, hello everyone. And thank you, Yerka, for the word. My name is Victoria, and today I'm going to talk about custom fields and typical mistakes we all tend to do, and mistakes that are related to permissions and visibility. And also, we will take a look at custom fields from a different point of view, and that's how we can create custom fields that are more advanced without making the mistake, so that you don't have to correct them. My presentation part is divided into two parts. The first one is about basic rules that apply to custom fields, and then the more practical part about actual examples from the point of view of mistakes and some tips and hacks on how to create some computed custom fields. So the first basic rule that I have for you is a format. And well, the rule that applies is that once a custom field is created, its format cannot be changed. This means that, for example, a field that is created as a text cannot be later switched into number type or date type. So if you make this kind of a mistake, there is no way of going back, and what you have to do is to either migrate your data or re-enter them manually. And my suggestion for you, if you can't decide on the format, if you're unsure if it's a good decision to put this format when creating a custom field, is to actually create both, put your data to it, test it, and see which one works better for your needs, and then delete the one that's not fitting. Another example of a basic rule is a dependency or dependencies. And so dependencies according to field type, that means that some of the custom fields depend on certain fields. And I have an example of a custom field in a format of list with a drop-down menu, so that you better understand what I'm trying to say with that. And let me find it. So when I go to the administration and custom fields, and I pick one of the prepared custom fields, here you see that it's a format of a list, and you have already filled out values that are possible to be entered. And so what happens when you use this custom field, I already prepared a task view for this. You filled out data, but then one day you find out that you need to change the name, or you need to delete one of the possible values that are possible to be filled out. And what happens is, when you actually do so for instance, I would delete one of the A's and the triple A, and then I would delete one of the entries. What you will find out is that an already filled out entry is going to stay there the way it was. But then when you click on changing the value, you see that the new values to be entered are there. So that part is updated. What is not updated is what you already pre-filled. And well, this is a common mistake, and it needs to be thought of before when you create such a custom field, because then it creates lots of inconsistencies. And yeah, well, that might cause a lot of trouble when you're trying to make a report or gather information from this custom field. Another example of a basic rule is the position of a custom field. So the position of a custom field within a form can be set when the field is created or edited. And in many cases, system-defined fields such as name, due date, priority, they have their fixed positions and cannot be moved or reordered freely. And we get questions like this from our clients when they wish for their custom fields to have a different position, to be on top. And this is not possible, unfortunately, because the standard fields or the native fields, they have higher priority, and well, so there are certain limitations. What you can do instead, however, is are two things, and one of them is to group your custom fields. So for example, when you go to administration and categories, here you can see that you can create groups for your custom fields. And also, well, I'll show you shortly what this symbol means. So for instance, I have an example of a specific task. So this is how it looks. This is how it's displayed when you categorize your custom fields into groups. If you had more custom fields there in group B, you would see them here. If you had more in group A, you would see them in the first position. And then if you decide you want to see the group B as first, so the moment you open the task, well, see that the position changed. So this is how you can reorder them. Then another example is when you go to the settings of a custom field. For instance, I guess it doesn't matter which one I pick. And you have this checkbox there. And this checkbox, well, might be a little bit confusing about like what it means, what's behind it. And what it actually means is that when you go to an update of a task, you see the custom field here. It's displayed right away. It's not grouped, so its position is somewhere else on a task. But then when you want to update the task and you're updating other fields and you want to see the custom field named OS version, you can't see it. You can't see it. And that's because when I was showing you the settings of the custom field, it's because it's like grouped in custom fields that are hidden. So then you have to click on edit additional attributes, and that's where the custom field is displayed. If you uncheck this box and save it, then when I refresh the page, and then I go to update, yes, you should be able to see the custom field right away, and you don't have to be confused about where it is hidden and about doing another click. So that was about positioning of custom fields and its limitations. And now we can go to practical examples. And in my practical examples, I have a few of those ones that are related to visibility and permissions. And then we'll take a look at how to generate a unique project name. a custom field that's related to custom tables, and then we will look at the formula of how to create like a very popular KPI defect density. So for the common mistakes, sometimes we get a question like, I'm having problems with a certain module. I'm trying to create a dashboard and I could not see the custom field that I created when I try to filter it. So for instance, let's say we have this problem with a budget module, and we've created a custom field that's related to travel costs. So for that, I have to go to budget statements, and then when I want to create a dashboard for the entity travel costs, and I want to filter my custom field, I cannot see it. The custom field I'm talking about is specifically this one. So it's a Boolean type of if we need a reimbursement for such a travel cost. And so I can't see it. And well, I wonder, why is it that the case? Is it because the format is not displayed in filters at all, or is it something I did wrong? And the answer is that there are more checkboxes that need to be taken into account when you create such a custom field. And that's, in this case, it is used as a filter. So if you click it and save it, and then I refresh the page, then I go back, and now I'm able to see the custom field. And I can filter whether my travel cost needs reimbursement or not. I can save it. All right. Another example I have for you is also very common. And it happens when there is a custom field created, and one user is able to change the value, but another one is unable to do so, even though he or she has the rights to actually see the custom field and edit the entity, let's say. Um, a specific example of this is when you, for instance, have a field in the format of a lookup where you want to display your account on a project, and you have a user who cannot add such a field, I mean such an account or any sort of an account. So when we take a look at it, I have an example of such a field on a specific project. So here is the custom field called our accounts. And when I want to edit the project and I want to add an account, it is possible for me. I can see, well, pretty much all of the accounts that this this application has, like the module CRM has. But then when I'm logged as a different user, and I have the rights to see the project, and I have the right to edit the project, I'm not able to add the account. So when I click, there are no accounts visible. And the reason behind this is because the role that this user has on the project doesn't have the rights to see any accounts. So if we take a look at it, I will go to, well, first I need to see what role I have as this user. And then when I go to roles permissions, and this is very common, if something like this happens, it is usually related to roles and permissions, and it's something you might have omitted, you might have not thought of that, okay, well, how come I can see one field and I'm not able to change its entries? So when I quickly look for the global permissions for this role, I can see that, well, this user is not able to view accounts, so there's no way he or she will be able to add them. So you need to allow this role to view accounts, and then when we go back, well, I'm hoping it's going to work now. I should be able to see, well, there might be something more that I did not think about. Oh yeah, I think it's another visibility issue, and that's that this role only sees accounts that were created by this user, but most probably this user hasn't created any accounts. So I need to change this permission as well. And then when I take a look again, I should be able to, yes. So this way it works. So they're actually, to sum it up, they're actually two issues combined, and that one is the visibility, and then another one is a permission, and both can be found in roles and permissions module. This case usually happens when a field is required to be filled out. So then when I didn't want to add it now because it would be more complicated for the demonstration. But normally this happens with required field. And then, if you click on edit project and you want to do any sort of editation and save it, then it doesn't even allow you to save any other entries because you have not filled out the required field. And yeah, so also this needs to be thought of whether it is necessary to have this field required combined with all the roles and permissions that need to be taken into account. So this was for the role, like the permission part and the visibility part. And now I have one tip for you for generating a unique project name. And I was thinking of showing you this, like how to create such a custom field, because many companies They need, consistent, unique project names, and um, such project names that not only contain some sort of a number, but they need some words included, so that for them it's not just a bunch of numbers together that are not really telling them anything about the project name itself. And when our clients, when they transfer from a different solution, or they use the different system that was generating this number for them automatically, then they want to, well, the transfer is not possible. You can't have the same generation of a unique number or a name. And what our solution offers is a little bit, it's a little bit more complex, but well, let me show you. So to create a unique project name, you have to do a set of steps, and that is when I go to custom fields and projects. Sorry, I'll take a sip. So this unique project name you can achieve by doing 3 steps. And the first step is to create a static label, such as project or development. So you want this first part to be the identifier of your project. Um, and for that, I created a custom field of a type in in the format of a list with 3 values. So this is one custom field where we just decide what kind of a project you're going to be working on, so that it identifies the type of the project. And then another one is a an auto increment. So the format is an auto increment. I named it auto project series, but what it actually means is that every time you create a project, it will generate a unique number. In this case, it is from number 0 to 999. And when you have these 2 fields, you need also, or well, you don't need it, but it's good to have. It's good to be able to grasp on something. And in my case, I prepared a custom field on the entity project of a year. So you create possible values of the years that you're going to be working on your projects, and then you just manually pick one of the years. Otherwise, another option would be to mm, perhaps create some sort of a lookup field of the year, but that would be more complicated. And now the outcome of having these 3 custom fields is to create a unique project number. And this unique project number is in the format of a computed field. And what you're going to do to have this unique project number is to just pick for your formula uh, all of the previously mentioned custom fields. There are no operations in this case. You just want to combine them together, and therefore, when you look them up here in the list of the custom fields, you just click on all of them, and they will save in the formula. But what you have to not forget about is the format of the computed custom field. And in this case, it's a text. And this is one of a very common mistakes that happen as well, is that when this field is not um, thought of prior, and then it creates errors and it doesn't display the desired outcome. Mostly when you're calculating something, you want your outcome to be in the format of a float or an integer number. Integer number is a whole number, and a float number would be to display also decimals. All right, so now we can take a look on how it will actually look when we have this sort of a computed field. And I already played with it a little bit before, apparently, and you can see the result here. So I picked type of project. It created for me the auto increment number, and I picked from the list the year that this project is created in. And then automatically the unique project number is calculated. Then I have an example of a custom field for custom tables. And it's very, very good to use when you want to filter projects according to their attribute. So for instance, you have you create a custom table with several car brands, and you want to be able to filter those car brands in your project. Another example that I have here is when I go to custom tables, and I have a custom table created for brands of personal computers. And what I can do so that I can display the brand that I'm going to be using, for instance, for my project. When I go to any project, I can pick one of the computer brands, and that's because I created a custom field. I created a custom field with the format of custom tables. So when I go to the settings of the custom field, I can see that the data are actually being generated from the custom table that I previously created, and I'm also using for other purposes. And lastly, I have an example of a very commonly used KPI, which is defect density. And well, mostly in agile projects, tracking defect density helps measure quality. And you are able to automate this KPI using custom fields. For this, I don't have an exact example in the application, but I created a formula, and now I'm going to explain how to create such a custom field. For this type of a custom field, again, you need to take multiple steps to have the desired outcome. In the first line, there is like a regular formula on how to create, how to compute defect density. So which is you take the amount of total errors or total bugs, you divide them by total estimated hours, and then to get a percentage for the outcome, you multiply it by 100. And how you can create such a custom field. So the step one you have to take is to create a custom field. I'm sorry, I this is a mistake. So it's not a computed custom field, but it is a manually it's a manual entry of total bugs. So let's say you would have a custom field in the format of a number, and you would create a filter that would, for a specific project, that would tell you how many bugs were reported. So you have this one custom field, then you need another custom field, which already has the format of a computed custom field. And that one is to sum, it's the sum of estimated hours. And this one is actually available in the list of the possible custom fields to be put in your formula. And when you have these two, then you're able to finally create your desired custom computed field. And I also wanted to mention, and that's a, I guess it's basic information, but our custom fields, you can use only a plus, minus, and divide, and there are limitations to be able to compute something. And well, this is the case for it now. You have the two custom fields that you need to have the desired outcome. And so when you create this formula, then it will automatically calculate the defect density. This is just an example of how this iteration works. And now we can go to the Q&A session. I'm not sure if there have been any, or
Okay,
how we stand with questions, because I have not been following.
thank you, Vicky, for the astonishing presentation and for all the information you shared with us. It was really brilliant. Thank you so much for that. And as Vicky correctly said, we are now having, the time when we are actually aiming to your questions, which have been, which been left in the Q&A section. But when I'm watching the Q&A, there is no question at all. So, is there anything which you would like to ask about the custom fields, So if yes, there is a perfect time for that right
Oh, I
now.
think we have one.
Oh yeah, there is one. So let me read it out. Is it possible to create the computed CF to get a difference between two dates? So, Vicky, what do you
Yeah, yeah,
think
yeah.
about
I'm
that?
thinking.
Yeah.
I think, well, if I'm not mistaken, it would just tell you the difference, like it will show you the amount, right? So it doesn't create a date itself. It just, I don't know what you want to know, like the difference between Monday and Sunday, and it will tell you it was 7 days, if I'm not mistaken.
Hi guys. Yeah, I think you're right, Victoria. You can do this. Yeah, the result is just a number, so you need to put the units there. So this way you can compute, for instance, planned and actual due date, and then you'll see the difference if you are ahead of time or if you are late. Sorry to interrupt.
Okay. Can you show us the example? Mark is asking if we can actually have the example shown, if it is possible. I'm not pretty sure right now if it is possible.
Um, okay, if you want me, I can try to show something in this case.
Thank you.
I guess I'm David, consultant as well. So let me share my screen here. And I can try something on this topic. Uh, yeah, the example that I mentioned would be that you have on projects, you have a start date and due date. Let's see how this is computed. So go to administration. In some cases, in your settings, you can have a due date that's set manually. In other cases, we need projects. In other cases, it's computed from tasks. So I went to administration and projects tab, and I see that calculate project due date from tasks. Okay, so that means that due date in this settings of the application is floating according to last task of my project. So maybe I would like to do something like go to custom fields, create a new custom field, not on task, on projects instead. And I would call it planned due date. Okay. The format would be, of course, date, right? Maybe for all projects used for filter, show in the list. Right. So save. Meanwhile, we can just show the fields here. So I should be, after refresh, able to add this as a column. Planned due date. So due date, planned due date. It's probably nothing yet, but we can put something here. Maybe, okay, that would be planned due date will be this one, okay? So there is a certain difference. Now we need to calculate the difference. So we need another custom field, again on projects. And in this case, it would be computed field. You can call it the difference, and it will be in amounts, and unit will be in days, let's say. And now the formula would be that you simply need to subtract, you need to find the correct fields or project fields, plan due date minus due date, or the other way around. all the projects show in a list, searchable, and save. And now let's see, we can add this field on the list. Okay. Yeah, maybe we need to compute the, that may be another tip. In case that it doesn't show immediately, that means you need to recalculate. Okay, so if you want to recalculate something because the project was not recently edited, then there is a overview of scheduled tasks area in your administration. And in this case, you should look for a one-shot task, if I'm not mistaken, and execute it manually. This is a list of different jobs They are planned to be executed every once in a while. And this can be the same for budgets or for earned values or other things. So if some value doesn't pop up immediately, you should go here and find the appropriate process and just run it manually. It doesn't happen that often, but from time to time, you might need that and see if something works. So yeah, we're minus 7 days. See? Because the planned due date was 24th of October, that's tomorrow. And the due date coming out of the tasks computed actually is 31st. So there is a delay of 7 days. I hope this helps.
Okay, thank you, David. So we have one more question right there. You're welcome, Mark. Manuel is asking, in the past, I worked already with custom fields to have a sum of other custom fields, like example, C equal A plus B. With updates to another version to a format changed to address, Google Maps, I cannot edit it anymore back to the origin, which was formula or similar.
I believe the Google Maps address was removed as a module just recently, so you cannot use it for any kind of calculation anymore.
Okay, all right. And also computed field cannot be assigned if I create a new customized field. That's additional to the question, I guess, from Manuel.
Perhaps, I don't.
I'm not sure I understand.
Yeah, me neither. Sorry.
Okay. So Manuel, if you can actually somehow explain a little bit better, or rephrase the question. All right, so let's pick another one. Marcus is asking, is it possible to send a condition in computed CF?
No, hi Marcos, nice to see you here. Well, unfortunately, there are no if conditions in computed custom fields. It will be, yeah, way one level more complex, and no, unfortunately, no.
So Manuel is adding the info. I cannot click on computed field if I want to add a format to new custom field. It doesn't exist in the list.
Well, maybe in some cases, if you have just the essentials bundle, I believe the custom field is not part of the essentials bundle, and it's in business, or it used to be this way.
All right. So Mark Alvarez is asking, is there a way to massively replace a custom field value for another one, like find and replace function?
I think you're referring to that mistake that Victoria was explaining. If you leave the old values in in a list and then start using new ones. Maybe there's another way. There is another format called key value list. You can use it instead of list. And the reason why is that these the values of this key value list, they have identifier. So basically what you are selecting is identifier. And if you later change the name for the value, it will be changed accordingly in existing records. So that's another way how to create lists, use key value list. And it's actually even better for integration. So if you do any kind of integration, you better use key value list. It's safer, and then it's easier to manage it via any kind of integration.
Okay. So Mark Alvarez also added the info, I mean, from the UI and without using the API.
That was addition to
the first question, and let me find the first question.
Sorry, I have a really short memory, sorry.
Okay, is there a way to massively replace a custom field value for another one, like a find and replace function?
I would say just bulk edit. If you can filter all records with a certain value of a certain custom field, and maybe just bulk edit all these records and just enforce the new value. That's the only way I can think of. I would need to
Okay.
test it though, because depends case from case. You're talking about tasks or something specific.
All right. Yeah, so that was the last one. So we still have some time in case you would like to ask David and Vicky any additional questions regarding the custom fields or regarding the presentation which you saw today. So let's give you a few more minutes. By the way, meantime, we have a time for different informations, like for example, a survey. We are gonna have a survey at the end of this webinar. So just quick info, guys. Before I tell you goodbye, have fun today, enjoy the rest of your day. Please do not turn off your computers and do not run quickly to see your family, etc. Just please take a few minutes, and on your screens there are going to be popping up there is going to be pop-up which on your browser, which is going to be asking you for a survey for your feedback. We would really appreciate some of your feedback, how you think that we did it today, etc., etc. And of course, since we have a little bit more time right now, there is also info about new webinar which is going to happen on 27th of November, which is going to be on the topic Dashboards 2.0. We had actually the dashboards and how to work with them in the spring of this year, where Flora was talking about how to control them, how to set them up, etc. So now we are going to have another session which is going to talk about dashboards. By the way, dashboards, just for your to you to know, is the most requested topic from all our clients, to be able to find out how to set up the dashboard, how to get the reporting. And when we are talking to our clients, they are always mentioning these topics to be actually discussed. So you can be really looking forward for November 27th of this year. Note it down to your calendar, because there is going to be really interesting presentation and info which is waiting for you that day. And well, since I don't see any other questions, I think we depleted all the questions, all the informations which we had. So I would like to now thank you personally to Vicky for the amazing presentation and for the amazing info which she shared with us. And also to David for the Q&A and for all the answers which he told us, and also the informations. Thank you, guys.
My pleasure, as always.
All right. So, and
Thank you too.
And with these, I'm going to say goodbye to you guys. It was really my pleasure, to be your host. And I'm really looking forward for the next session, which is going to happen. Remember, 27th of November. Have a beautiful rest of your day and take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Next time.